I think for a casual observer, seeing this happen in Texas is shocking, given that Texas is like, the oil capital, or I shouldn't say right now, but Texas historically has been synonymous with oil production in the United States. Talk a little bit about why Texas has been affected.
Again, the bulk of heating across the U.S. South is electric heat. So, the first thing you do when you turn up the thermostat is you're increasing demand. And this is the same kind of thing in reverse that happened in California. In California, the heat wave caused people to turn on their air conditioners, again, boosting electric demand. So, when the bulk of your relief from the weather is directly related to how much electricity you consume, you're going to have issues whether it's cold or hot. The ironic thing about Texas is that a lot of people over the summer were saying they're going to leave California for Texas because California was so screwed up and Texas is just, the panacea of all their problems. And nature kind of stepped in and had its own say.
Yeah, look, that certainly it does not seem to be the case that Texas is immune from all of the problems that has plagued California over the past few years. When is the power and heat expected to come on, Brian? When is some relief coming to these Americans?
So there is going to be a relaxing of the temperatures as we go through the week. So the worst of it is probably over for Texas, but that doesn't mean that it's going to, spring back to 50, 60 degrees. We're going to see a slow, gradual climb in temperatures throughout Texas. Before that happens, however, there's still going to be another round of snow and ice all the way from Dallas, Fort Worth, across the northern part of Texas. There might even be some sleet and snow in Houston as well. So they have to have another round. They have to be a little patient, which, it's easy for me to say because my house is warm and my lights are on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Northeast where we are is used to this type of thing, but Texas certainly isn't. That means that people there aren't necessarily prepared with jackets. Houses don't have the type of insulation that's meant to actually keep homes warm in these environments. Is there a role that climate change is playing? You mentioned what happened in California just a few months ago, the idea of extreme weather. At the same time, though, as you pointed out to us, Brian, like when we were exchanging emails about this before, there was a big snowstorm in Texas back in 1986.
Right, and the biggest snowstorm actually in Texas was 1895. So that this has happened before. The issue is it's the ends of the planet, the Arctic and the Antarctic, that are warming faster, that are seeing the most profound effects from climate change, and people don't quite really understand what that's going to mean. There are scientists out there, such as Judah Cohen at AER, who are, thoroughly convinced that climate change is playing a huge role in what we're seeing. That the number of these events that allow the cold air to spill out of the North Pole is happening more frequently because of climate change. This isn't universally accepted, but it's certainly there. But in the summertime, you also see problems with the fact that the Arctic is very warm because weather depends on the gradient from hot at the equator to cold at the North Pole, and when that gradient shrinks, you end up getting these large weather patterns that get stuck. So in the summertime, we'll have a heat wave that'll just go on from weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. That, again, is a sign of climate change. That, again, is growing out of the problems that we're seeing in the Arctic.
Yeah, look, local weather in Texas, globally connected. Bloomberg's Brian Sullivan, thanks as always for your time. We really appreciate it.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.